Hello, dumplings. Welcome to Let's Get Ugly, the podcast where we dive deep into the latest beauty, wellness, and lifestyle secrets that aren't always pretty, but always real.
We're your co-hosts, Trishna and Disha.
The sister duo keeping it 100% authentic, really silly, and sassy all at the same time.
We're definitely super silly. So come join us, grab your favorite drink, and welcome to this episode of Let's Get Ugly.
Bea, welcome to Let's Get Ugly.
Hi, thanks for having me.
We are super fans of yours, genuinely, and have been following along your journey for a long time, and you've really redefined what beauty can look like, and it's just been such an incredible journey to watch.
Thank you.
You definitely are super iconic. You've created looks for artists like Twigs, Ray, Dua Lipa, and every one of them feels like a visual mic drop. Today we're talking pigments, power, pushing the beauty narrative into the future, and I would like to start just there. Every standout look you have definitely has intention, and I wanted to ask you what drives the way you approach makeup in a world full of micro trends.
I think my approach is always I always like to straddle that border between making someone super hot and cool. So there are elements I like to strip back and things I like to turn up. Like if you imagine it was like a saturation dial, one thing would be one way, one thing would be the other. So I really love a strong eye. And if I know I'm doing a strong eye and I'm turning all the way up, I'll turn the skin all the way down. And I like to bounce contrasts. So if the eye is really heavily like matte and red, the skin should have, I hate the word dew, so it's not a dew. It should have a realness to it. So you can see that contrast. And I think that's the way I approach it. I just really love creating hot makeup. I like making women look hot. And it might be quite a subjective hotness, like all hotness is. But to me, it's very, very hot. And it's kind of like, it's like makeup you can flirt in. And like makeup you can be sassy in. And makeup you can go to the after party in. And that kind of feeling, that kind of approach.
I mean, I feel like your makeup also looks very much like art, and there's definitely an intersection of how makeup and art are intertwined. How do you think these realms complement each other within your work?
This has been said to me before, and I have to be really honest, I'm not a fine artist, but what I was really good at was sculpture. And I think in terms of art, I would say that that's more the approach I take. Like I worked with an actress the other day, Mayala, and she was in Lock Henry on
Black Mirror.
Black
Mirror.
Mirror.
Thank you.
Yes.
I was like, mind gone. And it was such a joy to work on her face. And I felt like a real creep afterwards because I was like, it was such a joy to work on your face. But I really mean it. Like it gives me joy to sculpt that face. You know, when that person sits in front of me, when that woman sits in front of me, she's very bare, you know, it's just the skin. And then in my head, I actually feel excitement in my chest. Like I can feel it like bubble up because I can see where I want to go with the face. I can see immediately like what will work and what won't. And I get really, really excited by it. And I think that's the art approach. It's not so much trying to do a cut crease because I'm not really interested in that. If I'm honest. I worked with someone who I really, really love. They're from the US. I hadn't seen them for a while. Then I worked with them again, and they actively asked me for a cut crease. And my chest sank a little bit because I thought, oh, like we used to have a lot more fun than that. And now your take on beauty, your take on what this hot girl is very much this cut crease, and that's not really my direction. And I kind of knew then maybe we might not see each other again for a while, not with any bad terms, just in terms of like how our visions align. And I haven't seen her again, but
Yeah.
no bad
No
blood.
bad blood.
It's just visions change, and they should be allowed to. And they can come full circle and come back again. I probably will see her again in the future. Just my guess is probably not for another 2 to 5 years.
I think that's so interesting the way that you approach it as well, because it's so clear that you really do kind of lock into the person more than anything else. It really seems like it's about them, not about the peripheral like noise. For example, you mentioned you hate the word due.
I hate the word due.
And I really wanted to tap into that because you can't get past social media without the words dewy dumpling, dewy skin, brands using product names with dew in it because it seems to be what everyone's chasing. What makes you not like the word dew?
I think because I'm looking at it in terms of consistency, and for me, it sits in the middle ground. It's not like gloss enough, and it's not raw enough. And when I mean raw, like in terms of skin, I mean some with like a moisturizer on it, not as heavy as like a Weleda skin food or a Charlotte Tilbury magic cream, something less than that, but where it still feels fleshy. And so it feels like you don't know, like maybe someone doesn't know what they're going to do with that, or like where it should go. And I would use the word shine, like if I was going to say, a shine on the eye. I think that sounds really like delicious, and I think you wouldn't say like maybe you'd say dewy skin, not dewy eye. No one wants a dewy eye, but is that kind of the point? No, dewy, shine maybe better. Shine maybe is more about placement. That's just my take on it. I don't really know. I hadn't really thought about why I didn't. I just knew I didn't.
I think but it's so interesting. It's so creative actually, and I love that. I think that's really. It really does show that like there is a certain intention to, everything that you do.
It's very intentional.
And I think that really showcases it. Like you're not just going to run with it. It's delivered with intention.
Yeah. Always. Wow. Thanks.
Yeah.
It really, really comes across. But obviously, as a creative, you probably have waves of inspiration throughout the day and as things go on. What are your biggest inspirations for your looks at the moment?
Well, I've been creating tutorial videos, and I've got some more to be released, and I plan to release more. This is my new thing, and I'm absolutely loving it. I feel so late to the party, and I'm like, why am I so late to this party? Because it's so much fun. And in those, I think, what I've realised I've been doing, and actually this kind of conflicts with what I just said about everything having intention, because this wasn't intentional. But I create different women, maybe that I've been, or like that I'm going to be, or that I've seen, that I've experienced, or that I would wish for myself, or that I would wish for others. Like I did a makeup based on heartbreak, and the title of that was I Used to Love You, and I feel like that kind of girl is the kind of girl that's experienced all of it and has had her heart broken, and she's been through all the times where she absolutely hates the other person and hopes a house will fall on their head, and then she is glad a house didn't fall on their head, and she wishes them well, and maybe not well, just like okay, and those kinds of feelings. So because we are all just girls, and we all have these kinds of feelings, like, whoever you date, you're going to probably have an ex or several, and you did love them once to where on that scale of love it was. So I did that one, and I did one. I used to really love Shirley Manson from Garbage. I mean, I still do. She's still really iconic. I saw Garbage fairly recently, and honestly, I never fangirl ever, because I think because I work with so much celebrity and I'm so immersed in it that it's not like, oh my God. But I did actually fangirl with her because she's someone I was like 14 and thinking she was just so amazing and wondering why I didn't look like her in the I'm Only Happy When It Rains video. And like, I wanted short ginger hair and I had, brown hair and obviously nothing like her. And so I created a makeup that was like a very 90s nod to that, just because I like that type of girl. Like, she was so effortlessly cool. She was just like, and they've always sat in this different kind of realm. Even when Garbage were on stage, she was saying, no one's ever really known where to place them. And I can see that's true. I think maybe now we might put them in alt rock, but or something along those lines. But I'm not really sure that is where they sit. So I liked that, that kind of girl that's maybe more like into playing the guitar, or like, isn't trailing Instagram, or is probably releasing her own music via Instagram, or like those kinds of things. Whatever that looks like and however that feels. So
you answered it perfectly. I just love how emotional your connections are to people's stories and emotions that come out within beauty. I think it's really fascinating as a process because it's so real and it's things that people can see and relate to almost instantly because we all have those moments, or we see those moments around us.
When it comes to these cool girls, as you call them, because I think that's something that I'm really admiring, is like this, and I feel like it's a search that we always have. Like, I would love to be a cool girl. I have accepted that I am not a cool girl, but it's what defines or what makes a girl cool?
That's a really great question, and again, it's not really something that I've thought about in such immediate terms. I think actually through this very short conversation, you've made me realise a lot of it is more intuitive for me and emotion led. But I've never really thought about what quantifies that, because it's always a feeling. Okay, what makes a girl cool? I like it when I can see a direction, but I don't want it to sound like a girl that doesn't have direction isn't cool, because that's not true. I actually would really rather take the stance and also believe that we are all cool, and that is the point of it. And it doesn't matter where on the scale you are, or like, it's not even a scale to me, it's more like maybe like a circle, and you can like bounce from different parts of the circle, and you can be in closer, or you can be out further. I'll give you a really, really I don't even know what kind of example this is, but it's an example. It's like when I was really trying to push fashion and work more in fashion, I cut my hair in a very short, sharp bob, and I called it a bitch bob, because I wanted to look more severe. I wanted to be like Severus Snape, I wanted a Snape haircut, and that suited me and the movements and the emotions of that time. But actually now, if my hair was longer than this, I'd be happy. It's like, this is kind of more me. This is more the 70s, the softness. But both girls are cool. Mm-hmm. They're just very different girls. But I think both are stylized. But again, it doesn't mean that someone's not stylized isn't cool, because actually that could make them really cool, the fact that they're not.
But I think that's great, because I feel like that actually just kind of encapsulates it. It's about being, but it's about not being. It's about defining, but it's also undefined. And I think it's that is she, isn't she, that keeps it cool.
Actually, I think I've just thought of something. It's maybe things that are more like man repeller somehow. Like with my bitch bob, it wasn't like textbook sexy. It's not Love Island, but it was kind of like sexy bitch to me. And even like this kind of hair is maybe a little bit like that, but also obviously don't care. Or a lot of things in fashion, like tabby boots, they're probably not sexy or cool to a lot of people, but I think they're great.
I love a tabby boot too.
I love a tabby boot.
Love a
them
tabby
too.
boot.
They're so comfortable. Underrated for comfort.
Underrated comfort.
I love that. I love that. I mean, you've worked with some of the most boundary breaking artists, and I just feel like it's so interesting because of how you've made them come into their identity through the looks that you create. Has there ever been a moment where the makeup completely transformed the energy of a shoot or performance?
Yes, I would say nearly every time. And I feel like maybe if you don't do that, maybe you should. In terms of when you're working with performers, maybe less actors unless they're getting into a role, but definitely, music videos, 100%. Red carpet, absolutely. There's still people that are having to be public facing, and okay, they might have the blessing of being an extrovert, which I think I rank really highly. I really like extroverts and admire them because I just can't understand how they are. Well, I can understand, but I just can't do it. But whether or not that's the case for someone that's public facing, that person is trusting you to make them look fierce. And that can be really pushing a look or really not pushing a look. Like, even if you're just doing something that's very stripped back, I will still take the same amount of time on that as I will something big. And I think every time you're building a character, you're helping them realize whatever character they're trying to be. I mean, Twigs is a great example of that because I've worked with, she basically works in seasons. So she'll be one person for a while. She's still the same person all the way through, sorry, but she'll be one character for a while and then another. Her fashion grows, her evolution grows. She changes. It's very chameleon. It evolves, and then sometimes it might revert back. There was a stage where she went back and did her crunking again, which was like the dance that she was doing back in like 2013, 2014, when we were working together then, and she did that maybe as recently as 2021 or something. So sometimes it reverts back, and you can like take a nod to your history, but like if you look at her now, she's doing something very different, and I'm not working with her at the moment. And again, it's that you can be with people for different chapters and different seasons. And I know right now she's doing this other thing, and I'm enjoying just watching her run with that. And I know that we'll probably come together again when she's doing something maybe a little more whatever I'm doing at that time, if they align. But it's not something that can be forced.
No.
For me, it would be wrong if it was. I mean, they just wouldn't hire you also. They just wouldn't book you if it was wrong. Every time builds a character. I used to really have a lot of fun with Ray, actually, because we did quite a few videos together, struggling to remember any of their names. I just remember really long days, but that's great. But every time was, a different character, or in relation to what their song is about, or like who they were in that moment. So it might not even be present tense. They probably wrote that song like 6 months ago, or we can be very different from 6 months ago. But you try and channel that and help them realize the dream, the visuals.
What was the most challenging creative brief you've received? Or like the most wild? And how did you run with it?
It's actually going to be a lot more simple than you think, but this is the example that comes to mind. I just have to try to work out how to tell this story. It was very recently, and it was a celebrity who does her makeup one way and has done forever, and was trying to do it a new way, which was very much less. And that's where I came in, and the team were trying out a few people, and I was one of them. And I found that one of the hardest things for me to do, because I can see I can see why they want to do it and what they're aiming for, but I can also see it's not her. And I know that whatever I do won't work for her. I went in with the best intention and just to do what I do, knowing it probably wouldn't work. And it didn't. And that's absolutely fine. But actually that kind of brief is the hardest brief for me, because it's basically in the nicest way, most meaning, kindest meaning way, it's saying change this person. And that never feels right, because that's not a character build, that's a change, and that's different.
I think that's so interesting as well, because I feel like we have to be ready for change ourselves. It can't really be forced. And so when you put someone in that position, it can be quite challenging for sure. I mean, I can understand where like the role of a management comes in and they're like, okay, well, this needs to adjust. But if you're not ready for it and you're used to seeing yourself a certain way, that's tough.
It's really tough. But I also, applaud them for trying. I think it's really good to try. I think it's good to get me in or whoever in and try. Because then at least actually, I hate that. And that's also really valid. Like, fine, fair enough, you hate it. Like, fine.
Yeah.
Good for you to know yourself well enough.
Figuring
I like
out
that.
beauty is hard.
It's so hard.
Just knowing what works, what doesn't, what you want to see yourself as, it's a challenge in of itself. So sometimes elimination is the strongest way to learn.
I like that. Yeah. No degree.
For sure. But bringing it back to you, because we love hearing more about you. What is one beauty standard you'd love to completely dismantle?
A beauty standard I'd like to dismantle. This isn't, again, you're just getting like the raw whatever's coming into my head. So
That's what we want.
Yeah, that is what we
sorry
want.
about that. I'm going to say body hair, and because I worked with an artist the other day who had hairy legs, and I just thought, I don't know what it is about women with hairy legs, but still I was just like, that's really cool. And she was going to an event where I should imagine probably 99% of the other women in that room have probably had electrolysis, but she hadn't. And I just thought, I love that about you. I absolutely love that about you. It's really badass. And then I was on a shoot, again, not too recently, and the model had hairy legs. And they asked me to shave her legs. And I didn't want to. I mean, they were fine with it and we did. But actually, I didn't want to. And I think as well, it's all about whose gaze it is. It was, I don't want to look like I'm throwing people under the bus. It's really not about bus throwing for me. But, for me, if I try and rationalise through it, it's about gaze and whose gaze it is. And we were working under a straight male photographer and working under his gaze of maybe what's beautiful, what's not, what works, what doesn't, and for whatever reason decided those hairy legs didn't work. Whereas for me, I think they do. I think, especially for the way we were shooting, it's very raw, it's very stripped back, natural light, very, very beautiful. Also, some on film, that kind of softness, you'd think maybe would it actually lean into that. It's not like it's a high definition kind of everything digital, everything, it was like still very beautiful. But I also think maybe that depends where the person's from too. He's not from the UK, he's not, London centric, and there's, I don't know, different ideas going on there.
Well, that's what I was going to follow up with, because I totally agree with you. But I think that what's exciting about you is that you have a very London vision, which is very open. And I wanted to ask, were there any like defining moments of being in London that the creative scene kind of shaped your artistry a little bit?
I can tell you what shaped my mentality for the worse for a while.
Interesting.
It's kind of a segue,
Mm-hmm.
but again, this is how this works. When I went to LA, and I was there for a while, working out there, and I came back, and my head was looking at everything differently, and actually not for the better. I went out, I got braces, my teeth weren't even, well, they were fine. And so I did like 2.5 years of braces after that, teeth whitening, loads of different small changes, to my body because I felt like I wasn't enough. And I think maybe just looking at that scenario, I'd never done those things in London. I did them after spending a few months in LA. So sometimes I think also when we judge the female celebrities who are from the States, who are from the US, and we just think they're crazy, I can really empathize with them about why they might start to feel that way because, the politics are different, everything is so different, everything is so much more, bigger, more over there. And I can see why their thoughts would be aligning so heavily with having so many maybe insecurities about yourself or things you feel like you really need or you are not yourself. Like it could be, I don't know, your heavy set baking or, I don't know, Spanx or your Botox or whatever it is.
I mean, do you feel like over here there's less of that pressure in a way to conform? Do you feel like London's more free?
Compared to the States, yes, definitely. But I still think there is a level that people want to be at or to work at, have the associations of the circles they run in. You tend to see the same clients at the same parties or because probably they've got the same management or music company or they're all part of some actors guild or wherever it is. It's actually, the pool isn't that big, really.
But there is a sense of individuality in London that I think is really unique as well. I can't say the same for example, if we go to Essex. All you have to do is hop on a train for half an hour and all of a sudden you'll start to see that conformity and those patterns popping up. But something about London feels different.
I would agree. I think it's always had that kind of heartbeat to it. It's always had its own response, and it is its own entity. There's a reason why I moved here. There's a reason why I didn't leave. There's a reason why I think a lot of people have done that, and why the art scene is still so heavy for now. I think if we're still financially pushed out, the industry's really taken a hit recently, and I think that's definitely affected. Oh, actually, that has definitely affected the way people present themselves, I think. Or in terms of my commercial or my and my editorial, actually, people aren't wanting anything too big or too crazy. They want things that sell. They don't want anything that scares people. Even like the book that you present to a client right now, a lot of it is very stripped back, very nice makeups, nothing scary, no crazy stuff. And I think that's really interesting for anyone trying to put together a book or, their work visually to get paid clients. They don't want to see that amazing makeup you did. They want to see that you can do skin, and that is it.
Wow, that's so interesting. It really is a testament.
Just for right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully not for long.
Hopefully not for long. I actually got to work on something the other day where I did really full makeup, and it was such a joy because I hadn't for a while. And when I was doing it, I was with the hairstylist, and I was like, we're having loads of fun today, aren't we? Like, we're actually having like actual fun. Like, I feel it, fun. Because we were allowed to do hair and makeup, which seems silly because that's all I do is makeup. But the freedom has retracted slightly, and I think that's because everyone is worried about money, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Speaking of fun, what's one makeup product that's always in your kit, no matter what the job?
It's not a makeup product, it is micropore tape. That doesn't leave the kit ever, travels with me everywhere, every job, always, because I refuse to do an eyeliner without it. Flat refuse.
Amazing.
What's the point?
Yeah.
Love that.
Get it sharp. I want it to cut.
Love that.
If your life were a makeup look, what would be the theme?
Well, I am very, very into my filling up your own cup journey. I know that I can't be the best for other people if I'm not the best for myself. I know that I need to know my own worth. I know that I need to value myself so other people can. And if they don't, it doesn't affect me. But in terms of what that would be in a makeup, I think it would be something quite fun. I used to do this makeup where it would be like a rose. I can't say the name. Rosarch, the ink blot test.
Yeah.
And I did a whole show with that once. Actually, I loved it. I'd love a celebrity to let me do something like this to them. Not to their whole face, but just the eye. But you basically print it like butterfly printing,
Yes.
and then print it on. Maybe it would be something like that. Something that is more like mark making or less instructional, less instructional, deliberate, but with room, like scope for change. And I think, and every time it would be different.
So, before you go, we have 3 quick fire beauty questions we ask every guest.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
So the first one is, what's one beauty rule you love breaking?
Oh, one beauty rule I love breaking is doing an eye and a lip together. I love doing an eye and a lip together. And I think the trick to doing that is to not doing anything on the cheek, because then it becomes very heavy, very 80s, and it will lead you in a different direction. And also, wherever you place your blush will dictate, shape or era, and you just want to eradicate all of that. So it's basically like have a nothingness on the center, something stamped there, something stamped there.
If you could give your younger self one piece of beauty advice, what would it be?
It would be don't cut your hair ever. Just let it grow and leave it alone. And also don't dye it. And also don't pluck your eyebrows.
A lot of hair related things.
Yes. I've really understood the, the bond with hair now. I get it now.
Oh, that's incredible. What's a beauty moment, good or bad, that you'll never forget?
So a beauty moment I will never forget would definitely be...
Could be iconic, could be disaster, could be personal, could be client.
It's always hard when we have makeup artists do this because they're like, we do so much.
So much. But I really loved the makeup I did for FK Twig's Honda music video. That just always comes to mind. It was really fun. Oh, but personally, I used to backcomb my friends' hair very, very big and do their makeup and shoot them, as in photography, shoot them. And we, it would be like their MySpace profile photo and that kind of thing. And that was just such a vibe. Like, I loved we had no idea what we were doing. And we used to go get cheap makeup and just put it on and, oh gosh. And I used to do makeup for the shows at Torture Garden, a club, and I gave everyone the same makeup, and it was really bad. I saw a photo of it recently, actually, like in some archive from 2008 or something, and I was like, oh my God. But I actually remember doing it at the time. I basically did really hard pink. I think it was like a Barry M eyeshadow, you know, the Dazzle Dust.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't exist anymore in that shade. But it used to have an amazing texture to the pigment, because I feel like pigments have changed, and I don't know anything about the site, but I'm pretty sure. But this had an amazing texture to it, very high shine, and then I would get a silver, I think also in Barry M, and put that there, so it was like a highlighter. But what I didn't realise I was doing, I guess, was makeup for stage. I had a stencil that I would do eyebrows with. So everyone basically had like round there, and then very hard, very, very, very hard, like caterpillar brows. But it was like a look, and then very big lashes. You know, I didn't understand any. Basically, all those dials were turned all the way up. You know, but none of us really understood. But we were immersed in that, and it was fun. But I will never bring that back. I promise to never do that to another woman ever again.
These all sound so memorable.
They're amazing memories. I'm really glad it all happened, but there's no repeats.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, those looks lay sleeping.
Yes.
Before we let you go, we have a little oracle card segment, and they are beauty-themed oracle cards. So we're going to do a little reading for you for what's next. Filling this one. Trust your instincts.
Amen.
So definitely for whatever you're thinking of doing next, it's right. Which is reaffirming.
I love that.
Some people have
bad instincts. You're right. There are definitely some people that shouldn't have the instincts they do. I stand corrected. You're right.
yeah, for sure. But Bea, thank you so much for today. You've shown us that makeup is more than enhancing. It's rebellion, it's joy, it's intuition, it's art, it's sculpture.
Thank you.
And we really enjoyed having you on.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
We loved it. Thank you so much. We can't wait to showcase the world your unfiltered, completely you version.
Thank you.